I'm going to do a few of the stories, and we're going to see how much it fits with you. And we'll see what happens in the second set. We might just play a set of rock and roll. Sure, she says. This is Alex Gate-Easley here on my left, your right. The first time I met Alex, we had an argument.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, well, it's funny because the first time I thought I met Miles, I said, "How you going?" Stewart, he goes, "Yeah, we met last night." On the mixer. None of those misunderstandings with Al. He's my cousin. Anyway, so I'm a little bit familiar with Ararat. I used to spend a bit of time out at the joint with the walls out there.
Working.
Working. So I got paid more than $2 a day. But, and as Rob said, it's not the first time that the wonderful institution that is Ararat Live. We all love an institution, and I've, as I said, I played part in a few of them here in Ararat. But my work has taken me around prisons and drug and alcohol work and homelessness. And so I've got a series of stories here which are based off and around the songs that I'm going to play. Some of them are dead set as it happened. Some of them are kind of a mix of what happened and a little bit to make it more interesting or less identifiable. And some of them are pure fiction. I'll leave you to which are pure fiction. What I will say is if you're not familiar with coarse talk, you might need to take a couple of deep breaths. So, as I said, we'll kick off with this is not the brightest, sunniest story of the world. It comes from my time in homelessness. It was a particularly harrowing couple of weeks. Anyway, it was a week or so since Joe had died, the third in as many weeks. I didn't feel bad about it. It wasn't my fault. If you want to shoot up, that's your choice. I glanced at another abandoned, oversized house, windows smashed, cyclone fencing fastened across the ostentatious gate. Land bankers, developers, said the sign. I felt hollow. It was like a war zone, burnt out cars, illegal rubbish dumping and junk hoarding on a grand scale. The flat basalt panes that would soon be vast estates. This driving was one thing, the fact that it was through the areas that they filmed Mad Max and that it looked even more apocalyptic than ever only set the die faster. 3 dead in 3 weeks. Nah, mate, he hardly ever used heroin. He was always careful. His choice. Their choice, was it? What was it? Was it really heroin? Or was it some other concoction of poorly cooked shit that threw the breaker on his already beleaguered heart? In the flotsam, behind the substation, next to the railway track. Yeah, down the river end. He lay there. He only came down here to babysit his granddaughter once a fortnight. Got a grouse place near Windy Hill, he told me. I turned to Splits. What are you hanging around with him for? He's a flash brick. We laughed. That was the last time I saw him. For some reason, Daz had gone around telling everyone he'd given him the shot. Not a single person could understand why we'd tell anyone that, even if it was true. He got bottled for his trouble. Golden Oak, to be precise. Shelley gave it to him right on top of the head when he was mouthing off. And when he went down, they gave him the slippers, good and proper. No one's seen Dazza since then. And that's a good thing. Splits told me, I don't know why Shelley done it. She wasn't even a mate of Joe's. Excuse me, page. No, I didn't feel bad about it. I felt empty and wondered what keeps us here. Who's looking after us? How far we can slide before a hand reaches down? Or do we just get left there behind the substation? All right. This is called Belinda Ann. Good G. She was struggling with a couple of things, always on the wrong foot, seeking distraction or just plain out of action from excessive input. She had an arm full of scars and a heart full of pain, a head full of bad ideas, and a persecution complex that'd rear its ugly head every time she had a couple of beers. She was Belinda Ann, archangel amphetamines, a trilogy of tragedies, a leading lady in a bad scene. Well, it was Boxing Day, he finally decided that this had all gone too far. Blind drunk, she took his kids to the pool in her unregistered car. Well, the cops brought him back, sunburned and cried. She was nowhere to be found. The Magna turned up 2 weeks later with a smashed-in radiator in the car park underground. And she was Belinda Ann, archangel amphetamine, a trilogy of tragedies, a leading lady in a bad scene. Well, he put her things in 4 garbage bags, a milk crate and a cardboard box, put them out on the front lawn, and then he changed the locks. Never got to where he called the police, and he never really thought it would. There was no particular point where it all went bad. It just never really was that good. With Belinda Ann, archangel amphetamine, a trilogy of tragedies, a leading lady in a bad scene. She was Belinda Ann, archangel amphetamine, played out over 5 acts, a leading lady in a bad scene. Thank you very much. I'll pick it up a little bit here. The phone had beeped a few times while I was in the middle of other various shit going on, talking to other people, and then it all fell silent. I looked at my phone. 3 missed calls. Percy. He hadn't responded to my previous few texts. I figured he needed something. I'd moved to the other side of town by necessity, but it wasn't all bad. It put me outside the aimless orbit of some of my then friends. I needed a bit of peace and quiet and time to myself. Percy had, for Percy, sort of settled down in that he was in a relationship. If the term in a relationship suited anyone, it suited Percy. I'm not sure he was in love, nor was I sure it was possible for anyone to love personally, unconditionally. He was kind of like alcohol. He was great when you wanted to party, and he was nice in small doses, but too much Percy or Percy all the time wasn't a good thing. He could be a headache, and he could really give you the shits. But none of us really wanted to give him up for good. Gabby, who'd taken him on, was a hard-nosed piece of work who didn't like me, but had my respect for pretty obvious reasons. I texted him, "Everything okay there?" The phone rang immediately. I answered it and he started talking. Hi, mate. I'm just around the corner. I was going to drop in. You home? Yeah, I'm here. Hey, if you're near the shops, can you get a 6-pack and some matches? Years of Percy had taught me that you needed to place a few hurdles in his way, and you also needed to make sure you caught anything that fell from his pockets as he leapt them. It was your only hope of breaking even. Everyone had had some of Percy's shit at their place. In the end, I believed he'd come up with an ingenious hustle where he'd leave something that was essentially worthless somewhere, knowing that when whoever had it threw it out, like he should have, that they'd feel like they owed him something. Not me. We stood in my garage in Northcote. I'm just going to grab a few things and in these boxes and get going, mate. Nah, Perce. You remember the deal. It all leaves as one lot, unopened. You agreed the day you left it here. No picking through it, no leaving shit behind. Yeah, but I'll only... If you open any of those boxes, whatever you leave here goes on the footpath. He looked at me, took a breath like he was about to say something serious, but I beat him to it. You fucking done it to me before, Percy. Not this time. Back your car up. Not 5 minutes later, there was a rapid knock at the door. Percy stood there with a carton of milk and a 6-pack of solar on special at Woolies, and a look that was half 5-year-old and half bit part actor needing a new headshot. I stood on the ground and we met eyes. I cast my eyes down and they picked up my index finger as they travelled, that eventually pointed at the khaki duffel bag. What's with the bag? There was a rapid side-to-side motion, and I turned to walk back into the house, saying as he went, "You fucked up, haven't you? You know that not even Mexicans drink that beer. Last time I was in LA, it was $12 US a slab." Yeah, I fucked up, but I spoke in unison. It wasn't all my fault. I turned around and he was giving me the upturned palms. I don't feel sorry for you, Percy, and I'm not giving you a break. In fact, that's probably why you came here. Subconsciously, you knew I'd give it to you. I'll bet you that 6-pack was your fault. This time it didn't look like he was going to say anything, but he angled a bottle out of the flimsy cardboard pack and motioned it towards me with it. Nah, they're for you, so you weren't drinking my beer. I know you too well. Put your bag in the lounge. I walked into the kitchen, got a beer out of the fridge and headed out onto the back veranda. I could hear his footsteps on the tiles. It turned out, fucked up, meant exactly what I expected it did. Percy was a man of grand plans and big announcements, but his customer care and warranty departments were probably better called... Did I say that? And who were you again? Gabby, like any reasonable person would, had set some boundaries. Percy transgressed them, and to Abby, that signalled forfeiture of his negotiating chip. We sat on the stools out the back. Have you noticed that now we have a little bit of distance that we can talk about stuff more easily, like friends, I said, rather than codependent, drug-fucked brothers? Yeah, you're right, I guess. I just wish that there was kind of a halfway... I cut him off again. Halfway point between your fuck-ups and reasonable behaviour. There is. It's called being a hustle, mate. What she expects from you is a pretty low bar, for fuck's sake. This is how it works. You got a week to get in touch with her. If you haven't, you got to go. Either way, in 2 weeks, you pay me rent. And in a month, you're gone. And it's a single bed too. If she shows up, you're gone. I raised my eyebrows and gave him a hitchhike and thumb. Right, so it's boot camp, is it? He shook his head and acted put out. I drank the last beer. Don't be a fuckwit, Percy. Where was he going to go? Your mum's? She likes Gabby more than you. That should tell you something. This one's called Mattress. And it's about putting up with Percy. That's better. Better go straight into it. Yep. We're missing a limb tonight. We can say what we like about him. Actually, we realised that we have the whole Scottish contingent and not the blaggard Englishman. So we'd normally have Paul Thomas playing pedal steel with us, but Paul's not here, we'll just say.
Left him on the highway.
Left him on the highway. No, you can't smoke in the car, Paul. So this is called Mattress. Oh. And we'll just go straight in.
1, 2, 3.
If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. Sure, I help you out, it's what it's all about, it's what friends are for. You can't stay so long, you wear your welcome out, 'cause you can't forget, that's why she threw you out. If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. Well, if you wanna stop off at the corner shop, there's some things we need. I know that you're here to crash, but I'm real sure don't catch, and stones don't bleed. But it's a single bed, there's no room for two, so if she shows up, you know what to do. If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. Mr. Al McInnes. Yeah, I love you, man, but you don't understand. You're 2 hands full. Well, she's done the yards, but you're still playing hard. Don't make stupid rules. Well, you're a rolling stone, least you think you are. Pull those chocks away, you won't roll that far. If you come around, I throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. If you come around, I throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. Well, if you come around, I'll throw a mattress down. If you come around, I'll throw a mattress down on the lounging floor. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Folks, it's called Still Life. Okay. Ararat's a car town, isn't it? I
And
know.
a truck down.
On a truck town. All right. No, I just want it cleaned up. I'm getting a little skip. I just want you to put anything, rubbish that comes out in there. Miles has just got to turn his phone off. So you just want it tidied up. What are you going to do with all the stuff? He looked around, it was like a film set, perfectly preserved under an even covering of dust. No, all the tools, all the parts, clean them and just put them back. I want everything cleaned, all the dust gone, everything put back. He looked perplexed. Doesn't matter what it costs. I imagine it'll take you a few days, that's okay, I don't care what it costs. He looked at her and tilted his head. I'm all right, I'm going to get that chair reupholstered too. She trailed off. He looked at the old leather tilt-backed office chair. The concrete in front of it was polished from feet. The arms a dull sheen, but the stuffing was spewing out of the squab, that greyish blue stuff with tiny multicoloured flecks. It was his dad's. Well, actually, it was his grandfather's and then his dad's. He hadn't used it for a while, but I'm not going to put the wheelchair there, am I? With that wretched oxygen cylinder. And you're getting a bit of special attention too, you little hussy. She reached out and ran 2 fingers along the chrome above the door of the Impala. There was an awkward pause. She rubbed the dust between her fingers. We'll need to back her out so you've got space to work. Don't rub this dust. I'll wash her with a soft brush and warm soapy water, otherwise it'll scratch the paint. I think it was the dust that killed him in the end, she said as she drew her thumb down to the base of her fingers, examining the texture and then running it back up to the tips. Oh, I didn't know. No, I was joking. Well, sort of. In the end, he was too weak to keep it all clean, and just seeing it like this was awful for him. But actually, it was dust, the Blue Death, asbestos. That's what killed him. He looked into the back seat. There was plastic that was slightly cloudy covering it. It looks like it's never been driven. Well, it hasn't really. No one's ever sat in the back seat. No one, ever. He maintained everything meticulously, but we only ever drove it a few times. Really? Why? He didn't really want to drive it. He loved it. Sometimes more than me, I think, but he'd say that looking at it and listening to it was the best way to enjoy it. He'd raced midgets on the dirt. That was real driving, he said. Driving this was like being the captain in an oil tanker and nearly as thirsty. He always got a thrill when someone saw it for the first time. He'd laugh. I told him I had a 67 SS Impala with a 427 that only had delivery miles on it. Spotless, ready to race. Still got plastic on the seats. Bullshit, they thought. Then they saw it. What are you going to do with it? Nothing, she said. She opened the door and climbed in. She leant down and rustled around on the floor, found the keys and jangled them into the ignition lock. The car started easily with some slight tapping for a second or two. She wound the window down. It was a brutal beast of a car. It's a 427, 4-speed, all the performance options. She blipped the throttle and it shook dust out of the rafters. It's beautiful, isn't it? He stood there and nodded slowly. It was astonishing. I have to jack her up to take the blocks out. Can you help me do that? Of course, Glenda, we can do it now if you like. They stood in the drive. So you just want it tidied up but left as it is. Yeah. The kids are telling me to sell the house, move. She looked down and brushed some dust off her sleeve. I'm not doing any of that. I don't have to. When I die, they can fight over it or work it out civilly. It's up to them. But this is my life. Why should I give it up and go and sit in heaven's waiting room? He was such a wonderful man, and he died a horrible, suffocating death. But he still lives in that car. Every time I start it, I can feel him. It was me, him, and her. I can't really explain. There's the kids and all this. This is a golden moment frozen in time. Miss 1967, that's what he called her.
Not too slow. 1, 2, 3.
Look at her, she's pretty neat. She's still got plastic on her seat. She sounds so smooth, she'll never stop. She ain't been far from home at all. He shuffled off, she left it there, like he still lived in it somewhere. Well, it lies in state on blocks of wood. There's still life under the hood. He died, she left it there like he still lived in it somewhere. Nothing's changed as if it would, and there's still life under the hood. Under the hood. Why frozen time the way they were? She can't explain. There's no time now, but she knows they shared him anyhow. He died, she left it there like he still lived. And it's somewhere, nothing's changed. As if it would, and there's still life under the hood. Under the hood. Under the hood. I'm going. Look at her, she's sitting neat. She's still got plastic on her seat. She sounds so smooth, she'll never stop. She ain't been far from home at all. He died, she left it there like he still lived. And there's somewhere, nothing's changed, as if it would, and there's still life under the hood. Under the hood. Under the hood. Hey! Okay. This is about Greytown. Greytown's in the bush near Heathcote. And it's not far from anywhere, but it doesn't seem to be close to anywhere either. There's all sorts of different rain, and of course, rain always happens in context. This was torrential, cyclonic rain, and the context was heat. A long, grinding blast of heat that had chased the sense out of everything. I was kind of lost, not genuinely lost, but I wasn't going anywhere. I knew exactly where I was, but I don't know where I was going except nowhere. It wasn't far from where I'd grown up, but when you're a teenager without proper freedom of movement, the first thing you want to do is go somewhere else. Anywhere. Frustration, boredom, heat. It was a series of messages when I was away with work. They were like sonar, just checking where I was. Was there any space? The day before I came home. I need to talk to you when you get home. There's something I need to tell you. Sonar, the long, soft ping into the deep, the cold, the void. I popped the boot and got out of the car. I looked up as I grabbed my bag. Something wasn't right. I unlocked the front door and there was a click as the seal stuck to it, the way it always seemed to do when we'd been away, except only I'd been away. Hello? Nothing. The house was dark inside, stifling. I dropped my bag and stood still. It was quiet, except for the fridge, which jiggered to a stop as I listened. Dead silent now. Nothing. Nothing but my breath. Cleared my throat. It sounded different. The house. I walked toward the kitchen. It looked different. Empty. The fridge had a piece of paper stuck to the door. I cleared my throat again. Oh, fuck. It was a struggle to lift my arm. I leaned against the bench and stared at the paper. It's a note, I said aloud. This time I walked over to the fridge, pulled the paper off. I leaned back against the bench. I felt sick, dizzy, my hands cold. This was what was happening. It was an hour before I read it properly, and I couldn't read it in sequence. My eyes kept leaping forward, seeking conclusion, resolution, relief. After a minute, I had the basics. She's gone. She's not coming back. This can't be fixed. I'd left at short notice a week ago, thrown a bag together after a late night call. Nah, no one else can cover it. Now home again, the fine detail was gone. The things that fill the tiny gaps in a relationship, the shared grit and grime, the cosmic dust that defines the difference between housemates and couple. The rain had started between Murchison and Rushworth. Huge drops. A vast front, steely blue-green underneath filled the western sky. I'd been driving through the hot, still haze and stopped for a piss. I saw the storm and felt a sense of relief. At least it was going to cool down. When it really started, I had to stop. The wipers couldn't keep up. The road was inches deep in places. By the time it passed, there were branches down, gravel was washed over the road, and just out of town, a wheelie bin lay prostrate across the centre line. When we met, we realised we'd grown up near each other. Near, but our paths never did and never would have crossed. She was old stock, 20 miles from the goldfields, 4 generations. I was 5 deep, but we'd moved. Not far, but we'd moved. And moved back. To the locals, we weren't locals. She'd mock me as a blow-in. I'd laugh, but it was true. It was true everywhere I went. My great-grandfather had been a lawyer here. His dad a shopkeeper. Around here, but mostly further, slightly further to the east, I felt at home, on the flats. That was my country. The stony rises and shattered sedimentary rock where they chased the gold was busy with the spirits of family, but it wasn't my country. The sun broke through and wisps of mist rose from the still hot road, right to the flats, the dried up swamps and tat, straight ahead to Bendigo, or left to Roo, and beyond to Greytown. Ah, fuck it. If something bad happened, if they had to prove a motive, this was where the defence went to shit. I had no business going this way or coming here, to be honest. I had no business leaving home today. I had nothing but an empty feeling. It wasn't betrayal, it wasn't anger, it was a dull, stupid funk. I was lost. I turned left. The bitumen still ends before the puddling machine, where the turn-off to the old Roo township is. That was my last chance to avoid this. Roo to the left. I continued straight on. The rain had set the road. It felt almost safe to drive on. It was more than a few times I'd driven this dangerous and loose meandering track through the emaciated ironbarks. What the fuck was I doing? I rolled to a stop outside the house. Her folks' car was in the driveway. Good, I mumbled. That meant they were home because they never, ever walked anywhere. I didn't care if she was there. I just wanted someone to see how much I hurt. I wanted to say goodbye to someone. I stood on the small veranda and knocked. There was silence, apart from some cockatoos in the distance. I knocked again. Nothing. The third time, I knocked for me. It said, "I know you're in there, and I know you're not going to come out. We always got along well. Her mum, better than Dad, but I liked him." I turned and walked back down the drive to the car. Now what? It was dusk. Roo time. I looked at my phone. No reception. Less than 150 k's to Melbourne, but may as well have been on the moon. There was a blinking. I looked up. Blue. There were headlights behind me. A police car. Great. I felt my face go hot. I wound the window down. There was a crunch of gravel. "You Lance?" "Yeah, I am." He leaned into the window and sighed. "What are you doing here?" "They're scared, mate." Ah, Jesus. He put his hand on my upper arm and leaned in closer. He smelled of cigarettes. "I'm going into Heathcote. I'm not going to search you here, but how about you follow me and we have a chat?" I didn't look back at the house. I followed at a distance, only closing when the bitumen started again. A Roo picked the gap between us. I swore. He pulled into a gravel slip lane beside the highway. I tucked in behind him. He was leaning against the driver's side, away from the road when I got to him, tapping a cigarette against the packet, gently, deliberately. "What were you doing there? I know you've split up with your daughter." I know this sounds stupid, but Lance, if men didn't do stupid things, I'd be out of a job. How stupid? It's Brian, by the way, Brian O'Leary. "I don't know, Brian. I mean, I don't even know why I was there. I'm just kind of lost, just ended up there. You got any weapons in the car? What? Weapons, Lance? Guns? Knives? Just hope there's nothing in there that could be, you know, misconstrued. Or worse, be used to hurt someone. I sighed and put my face in my hands. I hope that's a no. It's a no, Brian. Look, don't take this the wrong way, but I have to have a look. Domestic violence and all, mate. We can't brush it under the carpet. We have to be seen to be doing something. He walked over to the car and opened the door and sat in the driver's seat, running his hands down around the base of it, into the console, underneath, the glove box, above the visor. He reached down and popped the boot. When he climbed out, he saw my face and stopped. Procedure, Lance, just procedure. It isn't just my job. I've seen good blokes. Blokes I knew well lose their shit and do stupid things. Angry, horrible things. I've also seen other dickheads who I always knew would be fuck-ups cause pain that'll never go away. Death, misery, kids who are damaged, ruined. He walked back and lifted the boot. So what happened? I don't know. What do you mean, I don't know? You were there. What happened? No, I wasn't there. I got home after a week away for work and the house was empty. There was a note. I haven't seen it since. What happened before that? Nothing. One of them. Been blown before that? Had bust-ups before? Had arguments. She stayed at a friend's once. He slammed the boot and walked back towards his car and beckoned me. You're the kind of bloke who probably knows a lot about this stuff, Lance, and you probably think I'm some dumb country cop who's not above thumping someone. Because I feel like it, and years ago you might have been right. I came up here for a bit of quiet, and you know, quiet is good. Peace and quiet. When there's quiet, there's usually peace. I like peace. Less work. Better results. Blokes haven't done themselves any favours, you know. It ain't women doing the bashing. Women aren't killing their husbands week after week. And that might be you or me, but if you've got a dick, you're part of the problem, Lance. No buts. What happens now? Have I done anything wrong? He looked at me curiously. Maybe you aren't as smart as I thought. Sorry? There's a vast machine, Lance, that's built to sweep up the garbage. The pests, the harassers, the angry dickheads. The ones who can't take a hint. The ones who don't understand no. It's called the justice system and does this stuff with its eyes closed. In its sleep. That's why there's a whole separate counter for intervention orders down the magistrate's court. It's over, Lance. It isn't your decision. If you resign tomorrow and got another job and a few weeks from now your old boss rang up and asked you to do a shift, what would you do? I smiled curiously at him. Exactly, mate. She's gone. Anyone in a relationship can pull the pin, and the best thing you can do is walk away. Move on. Start the healing process pronto. I shifted my weight to the other leg and glanced at the faded tattoos on his forearm, where a narrow scroll contained Helen. So, how's Helen? He snorted. I hope Helen is well, wherever she is, whoever it is she is with, and whatever she's doing. Still a bit raw, eh? Yep, 25 years. Okay, it's called Greytown. Alrighty. I turned left to Rushworth. The rain had hammered down. Who knows why I went there, but I drove straight to Greytown. And I waited for you. You did not come through. You made the right decision. I was never good for you. If you ever change your mind, if you ever find the time, don't just watch me through the blinds.
but folks, they didn't answer. But I know that they were there. Their car was in the driveway, and they never walk anywhere. I waited for you. You looked through. You made the right decision. I was never good for you. If you ever change your mind, if you ever find the time, oh, just watch me through the blinds. If you ever change your mind, if you ever find the time, oh, just watch me through the blinds. If you ever change your mind, if you ever find the time, oh, just watch me through the blinds. Hey, Al. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, mine went off too. Yeah.
Swift kick. You've covered it.
I'm in another band called the T-Bones. The Cheese in, and he's in. We just won't let him in it. But I'm that guy in that band. Anyway, and the T-Bones had some recording on the weekend, and my trusty amp, the minute we put a microphone in front of it, realised that there was something wrong with it, and which is a bit dull. And then Al said, can you bring an amp for me? And so, of course, these are both mine, and that one over there, the minute we plugged it in here, sounds like it's got a bag of empty beer cans in the back of it.
Likely.
Yeah. Likely, yeah. Anyway, next up we're going to do we're back to the grim reality of domestic violence, and I will say that this next story was pretty much as told to me by a friend of mine. It's short. It ended with my sister, who'd been screaming the whole time it was going on, grabbing him in the headlock while I was trying to bash Dad's head against the floor. Heaps of stuff in the house was busted. Mum had taken off, couldn't stop it, couldn't watch. She'd stopped answering the phone at tea time. After he'd rung the second time, pissed, angry, abusive. That was him, just a fucking arsehole, cunt of a bloke. He'd have 2 drinks and ring. Sometimes he'd just turn up at the front yelling. I was 16, I'd had enough. My sister was always intent on stopping the fighting, not me. There was only one guilty party here. It wasn't Mum who was the cause of it, it was him. I'd grown up with her losing it and throwing stuff at him, heavy plates, just stuck glass ornaments, whatever came to hand. But since they separated, I'd never seen her go over the edge. He was incapable of rational thought when he was on the piss. If you'd asked him what he wanted, he wouldn't have been able to tell you. He was just angry at everything, an antisocial fuckwit, an outlier. I was big enough now to make a stand. If you come for my mum, I'll be there. And I'll hurt you. If you break our things, if you insult or harass us, I will hurt you. He come looking for a fight, and he fucking got it. This is on the back end of my album, Carcane, that's over there. It's called Carcane, and it's got, I don't know, 12 or 13 tracks on it. But seeing I had the space, I whacked my whole first solo album on there as well. So, and this is from what was called HQ Rear Window, which was my first solo record about 20 years ago. It's a human sea, and it goes like this. The old man's on the piss again, and mum's gone to my aunties. Get so crook, he can't eat, we're almost out of money. 4 days gone, mum ain't called, I think she's had enough. She ain't called by bed tonight, well at dawn I'm heading off, and I'll be lost right off this sinking ship into the human sea. Well, I sink or swim, well I'm diving in because they've forgotten me. Well, I go to my sister's, she'll take care of me there. But it's okay for me to stay, your husband don't live there. He shot through 3 years ago, the kids are only small. Well, the dads I know, drunk or gone, he just don't care at all. And I'll be lost right off this sinking ship into the human sea. Well, I sink or swim, well I'm diving in because they've forgotten me. Be lost right off this sinking ship into the human sea. Well, I sink or swim, well I'm diving in because they've forgotten me. The old man, he's an angry sea of torment and despair. Well, Mama only just made it back to shore, she's recovering somewhere. I had a foot in either boat, I couldn't take the loss. The hate they had between them was the moat that I'll never cross. And I'll be the lost right off this sinking ship into the human sea. Sink or swim, well I'm diving in because they've forgotten me. And I'll be lost right off this sinking ship into the human sea. Oh, I sink or swim, well I'm diving in because they've forgotten me. They've forgotten me. All right. Just play Silver HQ, have a quick break, and just come back and play a rock and roll set, I reckon. So I'm going to look for a little bit of crowd participation because I don't know how many of you know my brother. He, one of my greatest supporters over the years. I think he may have avoided the birth of some of his children to come to gigs of mine. Only 3 of them or so. But anyway, so he encouraged me to come and play in Ararat again. I used to be here every week. I'm not anymore. And then told me when I told him what the date was that he was going to be on holidays. So I'm hoping to just get a little quick video with a bit of audience participation. In fact, we might even get the house lights up. Can we? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him a video and tell him that we're doing the sound check. And then I might turn around. And when I turn around, we're going to go, "Where are you?" And hopefully, he'll be sitting in a little quiet Japanese eatery. And he'll go, "Oh, James has sent me a message." And it's a bit of a proud tradition in some of the other bands I'm in where people who can't make it to gig, we send a rather rude message. I'm not going to expect anyone to do anything rude here, but so when I spin around, I want you all just to go, "Where are you?" And it's got to be loud, all right? It's bleak. That's a photo. Hello. How you going, John? We're just doing the sound check, and I just thought I'd send you a message. And so I hope you're enjoying your holiday, and that I am missing you here at the gig, being one of my biggest support. And look, there's Alex. You know,
Hi, John.
It's dead quiet. We're waiting for the crowd to come in. But anyway, have a good time, and enjoy the Kieran. Thank you very much. Perfect. Silver HQ?
Sure.
Okay. Here's another car song. So I mentioned the T-Bones earlier. T-Bones have got a song called Comb and Cutter, which is about shearers. And in it said, "I've got my comb and cutter, I've got my silver HQ." We probably should play it. No. And years ago, I needed a car. And just around the corner of my house, there was a silver HQ with "for sale" in the window. I thought, well, why not? It was a good car, and it went through a couple of iterations after a brush with the truck and a bit of rust. And but most importantly, it lives on in this song. And one of the albums that's for sale over there was a band that I was in. It was called the Warner Brothers at first, and then it was called Overnight Jones. And the Overnight Jones record has the version of this song. Anyway, it's called Silver HQ. Alastair, are you loud enough? He's never loud enough.
Never.
Am I loud enough?
He's not loud enough?
Yeah, right. Jeez. So you want to stand here?
Yeah, everybody up on stage.
All right.
He's never loud enough. I got a silver HQ. It's an automatic with a 202 and hydraulic tap dance. It'll do for you if you think that you can hack it. She don't handle so sweet. You look good while you're at it. It's a 73. Well, my old man had one soft spot for me. I wish I had a red one. A 253 and a 2-inch system. put on LBG. Should go the distance. She said, no way, man, I'm sleeping out of my EH panel van. Didn't cost me that much, about 3 weeks' wages. I did the work by myself with the yellow pages. She's got discs on the front, so she pulls up quicker. And the auto return was snacked on the flicker. She said, no thank you, putt-putting round in my... I got it. No. Got a silver HQ, it's an automatic with a 202 and hydraulic tapping. It'll do for you if you think you can hack it. She don't handle so sweet, you're good while you're at it. I got a silver HQ, it's an automatic with a 202 and hydraulic tapping. It'll do for you if you think you can hack it. She don't handle so sweet, you look good while you're at it. She said, not for me, I'm still paying off that rusted out Capri. Cursed?
Hey?
All right. Cursed or 20 Lonely Wives?
20 lonely wives.
20 Lonely Wives. Okay, in the intro.
Outvoted.
Outvoted. In the intro, there was a mention of a song about the Westgate Bridge. It's called 20 Lonely Wives. And it's on cocaine over there. I kind of tried to capture it from the worker's perspective. But in the process, I was very much grabbed by the story of one of the wives who'd had a premonition in the morning, and her husband had said to her the day before that he felt the bridge move, and she said, don't be silly. How could the bridge move? And Doris Gerarda then changed her youngest son's name to Victor, which is the name of her husband, Victor Gerarda, who died. Anyway, Doris and Victor is another song that's on Carcane over there. It talks about her specifically. She's got a particular way with words, and if you've ever read Stories in the Age about it on the anniversary, there's a good chance you might have seen something that come from Doris. Oh, Jesus. I've got a mental blonk. Blonk, blink, blank.
Bonk.
Righto, I'm with it.
5 men lost their lives. They left 20 lonely wives. 60 kids survived the work of others. They'd been bending it for days. You know the rough work never pays. Old hands were heard to say, this bridge is moaning. But then it crashed into the mud with one great god-awful thud. Paid the price in blood to win the tender. And experts would think beast would fall into the drink. Paid the final thing plus the tender. Well, the inquest came and went. They said that not enough was spent on safety. It weren't meant to be forgotten. And they also asked how come the experts hadn't done their sums. Those plans weren't really plumb. You'd have to wonder how their families all felt when the truth was coldly spelled that it was negligence that dealt their hand of sorrow. 6,000 cars a day, none of them now pay. Take the quickest way across the river, but the families won't forget, 'cause their anguish ain't done yet, and they're never gonna get them men back. 35 men lost their lives, they left 20 lonely wives. 60 kids survived the working fathers. We're just going to do one more, and after the distraction in my brain from making a little video for my brother, he comes up again. Years ago, he gave me a book called Lake of the Woods by Tim O'Brien. I think it might have even been a text. I think we've got some teachers here, haven't we? Anyway, when I was a little kid, I was fascinated by the concept of infinity. I think lots of little kids are. And I don't know if anyone's read Lake of the Woods, but it has a very, very creepy aspect to it. It has some horrible stuff about the Vietnam War, and I have to confess, by the end of the book, I was skipping the bits about Vietnam. But the Lake of the Woods is a lake right up on the Canadian border. It's actually possible to navigate your way by water from the central part of the continent there out to sea. I don't think anyone's ever done it, and that's part of the story. That the disappearance of a wife and then the husband, who was deemed responsible but probably wasn't. Anyway, this is called Lake of the Woods. We're going to do this and have a quick break and come back and Just play a rock and roll set. Did you ever wanna just let go? Kick back and watch it blow. Put your hand on the tiller and turn. Kick back and watch it burn. Find a crack that you can slip through. Saw that lady in two. Pull the rabbit out of the hat. How could a woman disappear like that? She came to no good, the lake of the woods. She came to no good, the lake of the woods. Kick back and watch it blow. Put your hand on the tiller and turn. Fill it up with fuel and watch it burn. She came to no good in the lake of the woods. She came to no good in the lake of the woods. In the lake of the woods. In the lake of the woods. Thank you very much. We'll be back shortly.
Anyway, let's welcome the band back. Thank you.
I hit a few rides around this station, always getting there if I had way. But it didn't take me long to work out this trip was a mistake. As hitchhiking is a game of chance, a madman or perhaps a new romance. Never can tell, next new chauffeur will be. And so I closed my eyes, clenched my teeth, and held onto the dashboard tight. Sure be standing by the side of the road in the middle of the night. While 15 minutes get out that night. Love
looking back now, I could have used some foresight. When you're in a hurry, you just got to take what you get. I'm to the back of an XP fucking truck, my shit on the floor and said, hey, how far you traveling? The driver turned around, he said, why ain't you mowed up yet? So I closed my eyes, clenched my teeth, held onto the dashboard tight. When it sure beat standing by the side of the road in the middle of the night. Clench my teeth and held out to the dashboard tight. When it sure beat standing by the side of the road in the middle of the night. Well, it seemed like I'm the right time and place to try and get myself to sleep, cause I was feeling pretty wasted. He said, don't crash on me now, this driving it bores me to tears. Then he started talking about the landing strip. Right then I asked him why he taking that trip. The answer that he gave me confirmed the worst of my fears. So I closed my eyes, clenched my teeth, and I held onto the dashboard tight. While it sure be standing by the side of the road in the middle of the night. So I closed my eyes, clenched my teeth, held out to the dashboard tight. Well, it sure been standing by the side of the road in the middle of the night. Okay, that's not what we were going to play first.
What are we doing?
We're going to play this song. It's a true story. But I was told by the dad, who's the he in this song, that if I ever told his daughter, our friendship would come to an abrupt end. But it's a true story all the same. Okay. It's called God Help. Anyone want to count it in? Let him tune his guitar first.
All right.
Anyone else drinking Pat's beer? Good.
One, two, three.
God help the poor bastard who ends up with her. She's dumb as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her be a brave man than me. She's wild like an angry dog. She's only 10 years old. She's harder than nails. She's a railway station cold. She knows what she likes. She knows where she's at. Her old man wonders to himself, did I make her like that? God help the poor bastard who ends up with her. She's stubborn as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her and be a brave man than me. Go out. I'm old. She's got children of her own. Won't do what they told. Will they stand her up from the moment they can walk? Or will they give her love from the moment they can talk? God help the papa, Stewart ends up with her. She's stubborn as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death, and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her be a brave man than me. God help the papa, Stewart ends up with her. She's stubborn as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death, and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her be a brave man than me. Acapella. God help the papa, Stewart ends up with her. She's stubborn as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death, and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her be a brave man than me. God help the papa, Stewart ends up with her. She's stubborn as a mule, said her father. But I love her to death, and she'll be that of me. And a man who tries to tame her be a braver man than me. Alrighty.
Would you drink after that one?
Need a drink after that one. Okay. There wouldn't be a rock and roll gig without a bust-up song. Dropped the key from the bridge, had to stop acting like a kid. Poured a call, said it all. So glad that I did. Now it lies in the mud at the bottom of the river. Tiny little piece of brass means that I'm no longer with her. Now I'm out on my own. Well, I momentary second thought, but it felt too fast to be caught. In the rain, I won't fall for that again. Now it lies in the mud at the bottom of the river. Tiny little piece of rust means that I'm no longer with her. Now it lies in the mud at the bottom of the river. The tiny little piece of rust, it means that I'm no longer with her. There's a road that leaves the Hume Highway and heads directly north, aiming vaguely at Jerilderie. And it goes between there. Mostly it's just going to Wagga. It's called the Olympic Way. And you've got Jerilderie, Henty, The Rock, and Uranquinty. I used to go to Wagga a lot, for various reasons. An old friend of mine lived there, and we got up to all sorts of mischief. Around that time, everything I drove was a shitbox. And as today, driving up the Western Highway, did a head gasket there, timing gear just there. I think the Western Highway is almost up there with the Olympic Way for me. Anyway, this is called Henty Stomp. It's not a stomp. Huh. It's a song about the Olympic Way. And I wrote it after my good friend, who I mentioned earlier, Charlie. It nearly killed me for the third time in a car. In his 1963 compact Fairlane, where we ripped off the front leg of the chassis at about 80 miles an hour, leaving the road. And it turned out the owner of the King's Own Hotel had a couple of compact Fairlanes and was a good source of parts. The irony was further enriched when I broke down just near the King's Own Hotel one night. But this is about the hay plain and the desolation and the loneliness out there too. I broke down next to the King's Own Hotel. Do you think it'll rain? You never can tell. You won't get parts for that around here. We've got compact Fairlanes. We got ammo and beer. Redskins in a faded box, he says, where are you from? As he undoes the locks, it was a golden fleece. until the lease it ran out. It seems that no one buys nothing in the middle of a drought. He said, North, I've got a feeling it's south. They're different here, you'd best watch your mouth. He's got a brand new watch and a second-hand smile. He's got the only fuel for 83 miles. We might hear from Al McInnes here. Found the parts in a garbage dump. I had to climb underneath and unbolt the song. Skin my knuckles, 'cause under my breath it gets cold out here. Go back to G here. Where my freeze to death. I don't know if anyone saw, I can never remember his bloody name, Ken, History of Rock and Roll. Burns. Thanks, Al. You do it for me every time. And after watching it, country music, I wrote this song about Hank Williams. Both a brilliant and a tragic figure. With a suitcase full of cash and a liver on his lost legs, proceed to get trashed. Went to bed with a cigarette, burned a hotel down. They arrested him, but it was no big deal, 'cause they loved him in that town. Oh, whippoorwill, if you'd flown again, with your crooked back and your heart filled up with pain. Oh, whippoorwill, so lonesome you could cry. Well, Billy Shakespeare with $1 million voice, his $10 brain, said his publisher Roy. Well, Audrey took the things and she threw them out the door. He said, "You got 2 kids, you pissed all the time, I can't do this anymore." Oh, well, if you'd flown again, with your crooked back and your heart filled up with pain. Oh, everywhere, so lonesome you could cry. Give it to us, Al.
if you'd flown again. Oh, well, you could get it back and your heart filled up with pain. Oh, everywhere, so lonesome you could cry. Hank died on New Year's Day 1953 after 2 shots of morphine and 2 bottles of whiskey. Well, he died in the back of his Cadillac, I've been driven to a show. What he could have given if he had lived, we'll never really know. Oh, everywhere, if you'd flown again, oh, if you could get back and your heart filled up with pain. Oh, everywhere, so lonesome you could cry. Oh, everywhere, if you'd flown again, oh, if you could get back and your heart filled up with pain. Oh, everywhere, so lonesome you could cry. Alrighty, we're getting down there, folks. Al and I are actually, we're second cousins, we're not first cousins. And we both had another second cousin.
Kissing cousins.
Someone say kissing cousins? Yeah.
Lots of people said that.
Did they? Hey, this is Ararat. Anyway, we had another distant cousin, not that distant, he was second cousin to both of us, called Jamie Fielding. And he was a magnificent, if somewhat crazy piano player. And he died back in '95 in what probably wasn't an accident, and involved a train. All right, you with me?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. My cousin Jim, he got killed by a train. There won't be another piano player quite like the cat again. He could play some wicked shit, his head and hands are full of beer. Cousin Jim, he got killed by a train. My cousin Jim, he got killed by a train. Well, I hope it was an accident, that he felt no pain, 'cause the losing man was sad, all that talent that he had. 'Cause of Jim, he got killed by a train. Cousin Jim, he got killed by a train. I hope it was an accident, that he felt no pain, 'cause the losing man was sad with all that talent that he had. Cousin Jim, he got killed by a train. Jim got killed by a train. There won't be no other piano player quite like that cat again. He could play some wicked chill, his head and hands are full of beer. 'Cause of Jim, he got killed by a train.
Okay, we've got a couple more in us. This is one of the story songs, but I won't go to the trouble of telling you the story, but I'll just say it's about Graham Harrison, I went to school with. He didn't drink, and he didn't have his licence, but he died in a car crash with a pissed idiot after an 18th birthday party. It was unrelated, but I was in Shepparton years later, and I saw a copy of the Shep News, which, by any estimation, is a rubbish newspaper. Now, rubbish has been polite. And on the cover it had, on the front page it had, horror smash, 19-year-old tat boy dies. And a picture of a smashed car. And for someone who, by the time I was 25, I think 4 guys I'd been in primary school with had died in car accidents, and that wouldn't be a distant fact here either. I just thought it's just kind of repulsive. Anyway, this is a song about growing up in the country and the fact that you're vastly, vastly overrepresented on the road toll. Righto. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or a smash, Japanese cry. 19-year-old tat boy died. I grew up there and I know how it goes. I had friends who died on that same country road. Early reports had speed to blame when his life ran off the road, burst into flames. Plastic flowers and a cross tied to the tree, a parade of hot cars to the cemetery. When the party was over, he tried to take his keys. He couldn't walk to his car, but he made it there on his knees. The investigators estimated he was doing 180 when it left the Midland Highway and ran into that old box tree. Smash, Japanese cry. 19-year-old tat boy died. I grew up there and I know how it goes. I had friends who died on them same country roads.
It's another car song. I've got too many car songs. It's called Losing Yourself. It's on Carcane that you can get over there. You missed the turnout. Now you're on the road alone with your foot to the floor. Don't think I don't know where you're going, losing yourself. Oh, it's no way to find her. You're using fuel that you need to get home. Park in the shade a while, let the wind blow over you. It's hard to imagine your life as an uninterrupted view. So look to the horizon. It's a long way there for sure. The rest of your life, well, there's still so much more. Turn it around, brother, 'cause there's nothing out there for you. Head back to the lights. It's dark country that you've been through. Don't punish yourself. You suffered as it is, the main and Jeep out you through. Throw that lumber aside. Something you don't need. Turn up. Now you're on that road alone with your foot to the floor. Don't think I don't know where you're going, losing yourself. Well, there's no way to find her. You're using fuel that you need to get home. You're using fuel that you need to get home. You're using fuel that you need to get home. Thank you very much. We've been Four Door Shitbox. And I'm James Stewart. You've been a marvellous audience. I'm sorry that I didn't get around to chat to every single one of you. But there's people here I'm trying to avoid. My nose is leaving early. This is called Stuck in Melbourne.
Which we're not.
This is an old song. And it's about being stuck in Melbourne. He packed his things and he threw them in his EJ. Made his mind up to go to where. Had a pain in his heart. Was time to make a brand new start. And on the dashboard was the hairbrush clung to pieces of his baby's long black hair. He was stuck there in Melbourne again. Burned those bridges to his baby. She was looking for a new boyfriend. Had a pain in his heart. Was trying to make a brand new start. And on the dashboard was a hairbrush clung to pieces of his baby's long black hair. Engine died on a hill north
of Calcalo. He was still within inside of Melbourne town. Had a dryness in his throat, and in his wallet just one note. Couches looked so lonely he could swear that she was wearing a frown. He was stuck there in Melbourne again. Burned those bridges to his baby. She was looking for a new boyfriend. Had a pain in his heart, started to make a brand new start. And on the dashboard was his hairbrush clung to pieces of his baby's long black hair. Go out. He looked back to where it run from. It was north where he finally fixed his step, thinking that he could have kicked himself, thinking he could just run somewhere else. And he thought about that suitcase in that broken down old EJ over there. He was stuck there in Melbourne again. Burned those bridges to his baby. She was looking for a new boyfriend. Had a pain in his heart, had to make a brand new start. And on the dashboard was a hairbrush clung to pieces of his baby's long black hair. He was stuck there in Melbourne again. Burned those bridges to his baby. She was looking for a new boyfriend. Had a dryness in his throat, and in his wallet just one note. The couches looked so lonely he could swear she was wearing a frown. Thanks very much for having us. Alex Gate Eastley, Miles McNichol, and Al McInnes. I've been James Stewart. Thanks very much.
Do we want any more or not?
All right, we're not gonna go bother with the pretense of walking off.
We'll skip the walk-off thing. But Four Door Shitbox, that was awesome, except for the border collie thing. But we'll park that for now. But I've got photos. Okay, we'll talk. All right. I was just sitting there thinking.
Got my number?
Border collies are great. It doesn't matter. There's no other dogs. Buy border collies. No other dogs. I was just sitting thinking of the songs about some pretty heavy subjects and all that, and I thought if James ever does a best of with his bands and all that, he could call the album Songs in the Key of Life. Just check the copyright, but I reckon that was what it's all about. It's just wonderful. And you're going to do an encore, and I don't know whether I should ask for requests, but the one about your dad's passing, can we have that one?
That what?
About your dad dying.
Oh, nah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
He didn't bring his tissues, so. we can't
It's
do
a
that
beautiful. It is a beautiful song. But sorry, but yeah, yeah.
one. Go on, do it.
Anyway, I'll leave it with you. Let's thank
Fuck it. I'll do it by
James
myself.
and
I can't even remember it.
Do Not Resuscitate.
Yeah, you know, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a good song. Anyway, let's if we're gonna have an encore, we might as well do something. Yeah. Thanks heaps, James and the band. Absolutely wonderful.
The song he's talking about is called Jimmy. And I'd love to do it, but I've very much shied away from it. Do I know any Jimmy Buffett songs?
From the Sublime.
Have you got any cocaine?
In Ararat.
This isn't cocaine. No, I'm going to do this. I'm sorry Rob couldn't do Jimmy, but I'd kind of shied away from it because I think it upset my family. And it's a real downer. Anyway, this is called Brunswick Street Girl. Struck me as quite nice. She'd serve me coffee once or twice. I fell in love with that Brunswick Street girl. Her hair was dyed red, perhaps I lied the way she said. She was real, but I wasn't born with curls. Ten out from the city, and I thought about how pretty that she was as I sat on the tram. Thought of her all day, she was surprised enough to say, it's funny how you always seem to know just where I am. I fell in love, Brunswick Street. She loved ever. She said she'd always been too clever. But then again, she hadn't learned a lesson yet. Said she'd had a yearning, but her heart was hardly burning. And I hung on every word that you said. I fell in love with a Brunswick Street girl. I fell in love, Brunswick Street. Thank you very much. Thanks to Dave for having us. And thanks for participating in my little family joke too. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Robs.
Yeah, and Rob and Amber. Abby.
Abby,
Sorry.
yes, thank you, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.